Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here.
Jacob here, meeting my icon, Catherine Isabel, Jane Lorenzo.
Wait, what did you say?
Jane Lorenzo.
Okay.
Have a good one.
You guys better subscribe and watch my friend on his YouTube channel. He is kicking ass.
Some crimes can't be forgotten.
Who killed my wife?
It's a Chinese triad.
Or forgiven.
Let's get one. Now.
One man takes out 3 of your guys. I think that's a problem.
Now, all he has left is revenge.
Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you another movie review. This time we're going to be talking about another film starring Jean-Claude Van Damme called Wake of Death.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. Wake of Death.
Story follows Ben Archer, who decides he wants out of the organized crime world. He moves to America with his wife Cynthia and son Nicholas. Cynthia brings home a rescued Chinese girl who turns out to be the daughter of Triad Kingpin San Quan, who murders Cynthia and takes the girl and Nicholas. Rekindling his old mob connections, Ben embarks on a bloody vendetta to save the kids and punish Quan for his wife's death. So yeah, this movie came out back in 2004, and yes, I'm continuing my my ongoing Jean-Claude Van Damme movie marathon. I've just been on a binge and huge kick for these kinds of movies lately. I'm gonna be mixing it up a little more. Gonna be mixing it up a little bit more soon, but this is one I was pretty eager to get to. If you guys seen my In Hell review, this film was also on the set here. Because, you know, I already like Jean-Claude Van Damme, but watching more of his movies lately, I'm becoming more and more of an avid fan of his. I always say Arnold Schwarzenegger is always going to be my favorite, you know, sort of, you know, classic action hero. But when it comes to martial artists and stuff like that, you know, Jean-Claude Van Damme and Scott Adkins are probably my 2 favorites. And they're probably just right behind Schwarzenegger. So, yeah, I was eager to get to both this and In Hell because they both, from what I read, seemed like more sort of mature or more character-driven than usual, you know, especially for a, you know, martial arts action movie, right? A little bit more substance, a little bit more, you know, this depth to it. Because, you know, I enjoy basic action like as much as the next guy, but to really get behind someone, to really like them, I have to see them, you know, really act and really just bring it. And I think In Hell, and maybe even more so, at least performance-wise, of this movie, Van Damme does a really, really nice job. You know, I'm not saying he's like you know, the greatest actor of all time necessarily, but from what I've seen, this is probably his best performance. He did good in Hell too, but he really impressed me in this movie with the way he emoted and just the way he would, I don't know, he showed a lot more emotion than I was ready for. I was impressed. Just his reaction when he finds his wife and just sort of how he portrays how low this guy is sinking after this, you know, just where his mind's going. you know, even sort of blaming the girl for sort of bringing this to them. You know, it's hard to see him yell at a little girl, but at the same time, you kind of get his mindset on it. You get why he'd snap like that at least once or something. And the actress who played his wife, Lisa King, her name is, she did a pretty nice job as well, and although we don't see her alive for long, I think her and Jean-Claude Van Damme had some decent chemistry together. And, you know, I definitely felt for it. I think, you know, she's definitely a genuinely good person, so, you know, it's unfortunate to see what happened. And yeah, this movie, you know, it's more of an action film than In Hell, I would say, maybe. It's hard to describe. Go watch my In Hell review to figure out exactly what I mean by that. But really, it still does feature some, you know, pretty solid, you know, pretty good fight scenes anyway. There's a number of, there's at least a couple scenes where Van Damme just goes through guys left and right, and it's pretty gratifying to see. And there's a couple decent shootouts, you know, a good chase sequence as well. So you get your usual Van Damme stuff that you watch, that you probably still watch his movies for, and this, don't get me wrong. But just like, again, how In Hell sort of played more like a drama with sprinkles of action, and this film almost felt more like it was built on you know, the drama this guy's going through, as it should be. So it almost played more like a crime action drama type thing, you know. And I appreciated that, because again, I've been looking for more, you know, substance when it comes down to it, and I think this movie kind of did it for me. Also, the actress who played the escaped little girl, I thought she did a pretty nice job as well. She felt natural. It didn't feel like people were just telling her what to say, and she was just saying it without really pushing herself. She did a nice job. I was surprised by her as well. Now, this movie isn't perfect. It feels a little bit dull here and there, but luckily the film is not overly long. I think it is somewhere around like an hour and 40, you know, give or take, or something like that. So it's definitely worth your time. It's worth following Van Damme's character through this. Some of the older guys who play some of his mob connections, I thought also did a pretty good job. There's also this younger guy that's with them, and, you know, he felt a bit forced. I don't think the movie really needed his character. He was just kind of inconsequential to the plot. But yeah, so overall, it's you know, kind of a straightforward movie, I guess. Again, it's nothing too original. Yeah, it's another kind of revenge type flick, but what really makes it is, again, probably seeing Jean-Claude Van Damme's best actual acting performance that I've seen anyway. Point me to another one if you have another one in mind. But yeah, so let me know what you guys thought about this one. If you've seen it, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, like, subscribe. And if I had to rate this movie, I forgot to make a picture for it, but if I had to rate it, I'd probably at least rate it about a B, a solid B, I think I'm going with. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this one. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and I already said that, so I'll let you guys go. Catch you next time. Peace.